Please stand by.
What?
You guys hear me okay?
Oh, yes.
Needs to be a little louder, I think.
Yes.
Hey guys, thank you for coming to the Rotten Tomatoes panel.
Thank you for coming to the Rotten Tomatoes panel. You guys ready to have a good time? Are you ready for some energy? Yeah! Take it away, Grae.
Yes, and I will promptly give it back to my boss, Editor-in-Chief, Matt Atchity!
Thank you for coming today. I want to thank our esteemed panelists, starting right here, ALONSO DURALDE of The Wrap and Linoleum Life. Alonso and I also have a little show called What the Flick, where we review movies. Next, Meredith Borders from Birth Movies Death, a local lady here. And then Scott Nance from Access Hollywood. Watch out for Scott. He'll yell at you. And then Becky Lane as our tomato. First time a tomato makes an appearance at the Year Sucks panel. She will be responsible for giving us tomatometers for movies. Now, everybody's got these paddles. This is going to be very important, and Grae Drake is going to tell you what we're going to do with these.
All right, guys. Here's what you do with those paddles. Raise them in the air. Just raise them. Just, okay, you got that first step. I love this audience. And now, turn them to the other side. Now, you need to be aware of which side you're holding forward. Wait, so the next test is everybody turn the rotten side forward. Rotten side forward. All right, well that makes me sad in my heart. So turn it to fresh. Okay, so this panel is all about you. I'm gonna be standing right where that microphone is. I'm gonna be a human microphone stand. And you're gonna come to me. You're gonna line up when I call for you, and you are going to talk about a movie or a television show that you love or hate. That to you, in your heart, is fresh or rotten. Are you following this? Good? Then you get a minute to passionately express your opinion, just like a user rating on RottenTomatoes.com. And our beloved critics standing behind me are going to tell you how your opinion sucks.
Right.
Perhaps doesn't suck.
It's all about the critics.
But
Almost definitely sucks.
once you've had your minute about a movie, one of these critics will spend a minute telling you how wrong you are. But then you get the last word.
Because we love you. And we're really grateful that you come to our website and help keep us all in jobs. So, you get the final word, and during your impassioned speech, everybody in the audience is voting along with you. They're telling you whether you were right or wrong. You get to hold up fresh or rotten, whether you agree or disagree. Keep it quiet. Let's all be polite. It's a safe space, etc. However, thank you for coming today, and I can assure you, your opinion sucks.
Sucks so much.
So much.
Now, real quick, should we test the ratings for movies really quick?
Yeah.
Name off a couple movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Star Wars: Force Awakens.
Get the signs up. Oh my God, it's mostly fresh. We have a few rottens. Okay, that almost mirrors what our critics said actually, because Star Wars was certified fresh at about 93%.
Okay.
Now let's try a movie like 50 Shades of Grey. Okay, all right, mostly rotten. Hold on a second.
Wait, who's fresh?
I see 3 freshes. All y'all nasty. Okay, I like you guys. We're gonna hang out after this. So you guys got it. That's it. So now, in an incredibly measured and controlled way, we're gonna have you line up behind me. Please line up early, won't
Don't
you?
be afraid.
Don't be
Come on up.
scared. It's a safe space.
You got it? You want to talk about a movie? Any movie.
This is usually the.
This is your turn to take us on.
Come on, guys.
Don't
come
be
on.
shy. Energy.
Is
Passion.
everyone in this room high? I mean, come on.
I know you have opinions.
Now,
I know
Energy,
you
I wanna
do.
tell
passion.
everybody here, I wanna tell
See, what's going to
everybody-
happen is
It's
we're going to
only
start
2 p.m.
talking,
Yeah.
and then you're going to want to line up. So do it now.
Now, I want to let everyone know, we typically do this panel at the conventions, at like Comic-Con and WonderCon and New York Comic-Con, and so we get a lot of comic book movies come up. I'm excited to be at South by Southwest because I want to hear about indie movies. I want to hear about like the stuff that you guys are seeing, like real movies, not all that comic book crap.
No
Just
pressure,
saying.
guys. No pressure, but don't be dumb, okay? So it's cool.
I believe in you.
So Gabriel is our brave soul who's joining us first.
Gabriel!
Hey, Gabriel!
Yeah.
Certified fresh, buddy.
So, what TV show would you like to talk about?
So it's not new, but I want to make a case for it. Dexter.
Oh, Dexter. And you say it is?
I say it's fresh.
Okay, get your paddles up if you saw Dexter with Michael C. Hall, right? That's his name? I always confuse the Michaels.
That's the one.
Your minute has begun. Go.
So, Dexter for me could have been in the pantheon of like greatest shows of all time if the showrunner in the middle of it didn't change. After season 4, it kind of went downhill, but I feel like if it was 5 seasons, it could have been like in the Breaking Bad talk, maybe like. So it's kind of hard because you want to recommend it to somebody, but then you know it's just gonna suck at the end of it. But I think like that format inspired shows like Mr. Robot, even where it's like somebody infiltrated in a certain system that's working against it. So I don't know. I think Dexter's awesome. That's it.
You're a rebel.
Scott has
Okay.
an opinion.
You're lucky. You picked a TV show that I actually watched. I hardly watch TV because I'm at the movies all the friggin' time. But I agree with you. Dexter is a great show, and the problem is it was a good 4 or 5 season show that went on for 8 seasons, and that last season was terrible. That last episode was terrible. They should have quit while they were ahead, and that reminded me of another TV show that should have done that. A show that should have quit while it was ahead. The X-Files.
Yeah.
That was great for 5 or 6 seasons, but it went on for 9. I mean, even after Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny checked out, the show is still going.
It's still going.
It's still going. But yes, I'm with you. Fresh, but too long.
I agree that the first few seasons are good, but I feel like when you blow the entire latter half of a show, you can no longer call it fresh.
I bailed in season 1, so I got.
All right, so the official word from the Tomatometer is...
Well, Gabriel, I've got good news for you. The entire series on average is fresh at 79%. But that one season you were talking about, season 6, was rotten at 54. So it does show.
That's
The
generous.
Tomatometer reflects what you were saying.
So you know what, guys? We're starting off on kind of a high note because I can't really tell you that your opinion sucks. But what I will tell you is that liking a show about a serial killer makes you a little scared. So. Thanks, Gabriel. Give him a hand.
See how easy this is, guys? Get in line.
Yes,
All
get
right.
in line.
All right,
Movies.
Emily, what's your TV show or movie?
So I'm here to make a case for the Golden Girls.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
shit. Yes.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
Whoa,
Did you say
this-
Golden or Gilmore?
Okay.
Either, but she said golden.
Golden, Alonso. Okay, tread carefully, Emily, because there is only one correct answer as to whether this is fresh or rotten.
Oh, yeah.
So fresh.
The freshest.
Thank God. Okay, make your case, girl.
So anyone who hates the Golden Girls is wrong. Just wrong. I'm an old lady at heart, and so that show just, I relate. Every night of my sophomore year of college, I fell asleep watching it because, you know, old ladies and sleeping. My only issue is I don't like cheesecake, and they like cheesecake, so we don't relate there. But how can you not like Betty White? And then, you know, there's the promiscuous one, and they're all really fantastic. So, I mean, there's just nothing wrong other than cheesecake.
Nothing wrong other than cheesecake. Alonzo, explain yourself.
No.
I know. I'm a bad gay.
The worst.
The depressing thing is I'm too old for the Golden Girls because here's the thing.
Whoa,
For
what?
me, because for me, B. Arthur and Rue McClanahan peaked on Maude, and Betty White peaked on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And everything after that just kind of felt like slightly warmed over leftovers. So I never got into Golden Girls. So I'm not a fan.
I
However, if
strenuously.
you were a teen or so when the show started or when it was in reruns and you maybe didn't know those previous shows, I totally get the appeal and why you would find them funny.
Let's
But for
talk
me
about-
personally, not so much.
Don't
Let's
backpedal
talk about-
now, Alonzo, if that's your real name.
This is a show that was about 4 retired women. Like, you can't find that today. It's also extremely progressive. They talk about abortion. They talk about, you know, like, they've got, like, gay characters in the very first episode.
Look,
Cheesecake.
I'm not knocking anything about it except that I personally didn't dig it. I'm glad it exists. I get why people love it. It's just not for me.
It's not
I'd
for
rather be
Alonzo.
watching Star Trek.
Well,
We know,
that's
Scott.
Becky Lane, what is the tomato meter reading if we have one for Golden
Well, we
Girls?
don't have one, but since the show did get its own Lego set, I think it's fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, I will
Emily,
say.
do you feel comfortable sacrificing your final 30 seconds?
I do.
I look deep into your eyes and I say, do not fall asleep to Rue McClanahan sledding it up. Okay? Be
The
very
promiscuous
careful.
one.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And thank you for being a friend.
Thank you indeed. Not the preferred nomenclature sledding. So it's a safe space, guys. Don't do what I just did. Kelmer, what TV show or movie do you want to talk about?
Because it's on Skinamax, no one really has seen that much of it.
Oh, yeah!
The Nick is just an incredible show.
The Nick.
Yeah.
Steven Soderbergh's.
It's Steven Soderbergh. He's just like obsessive about how everything is filmed, the sound design. He takes part in the editing of the show. It has a very consistent vision. It's just beautiful to watch, and the acting led by Clive Owen is just incredible. So it's just a really good show that I wish everybody would watch and give more attention.
Panel?
We haven't seen it. Alonso has.
Well, not to get all criticky, but oh my God, that show is fucking awesome! Yeah, like if Steven Soderbergh was going to quit making movies, this is the thing that he should be doing. It is, you're right, it is obsessive auteurist television, and every crazy period detail and performance and the Cliff Martinez score, and it's all perfect and unsettling, and it just makes you wonder why we're not all dead. Like how America survived 1900s medicine is a miracle. Yeah, no, it's a great, great show, no question.
I agree. I'm hooked on that show. It's absolutely amazing. There's so many shocking things happening on that show, not the least of which is that, like you said, it's on Skinamax. Like, it's as good as almost anything showing on HBO.
Banshee's really good, too.
Yeah, it's this terrific show that Soderbergh is directed almost in all of it himself. Like, it's meticulously crafted. They shoot all this stuff on location in New York, right, and make it look like the 1800s. It's shocking. If you haven't watched it, please watch the show. And the tomato meter for the show is...
Okay, well, I'm happy to tell you that both seasons are certified fresh. This is also one we follow on an episodic level. Every single episode is fresh.
Wow. I got to get Skinamax.
Seriously.
Are you allowed to call it Skinamax when it's not an adult film on the channel?
We did.
There is adult content on the shows.
Nice. And I'd like to point out that this is the second television show we've had someone bring up already that involves cutting people open. So sleep well, everybody. Thank you, Kelmer.
Yeah,
Yay, let's hear it. Woo! Let's hear it let's get a movie going here.
Nick, TV show or film?
Film, I want to talk about The One I Love.
Ooh!
So, the
Yeah!
first 20 to 30 minutes.
Wait, fresh or rotten?
I think it's totally fresh. The first 20, 30 minutes, you think you know where it's going, and then it totally takes the 90-degree angle, and you spend the next 90 minutes going, WTF. And it's not only that, it's still at the ending, you're even more, what the fuck. And I'm still trying to figure it out, and I just want to get your take on it, whether it's real Sophie or fake Sophie.
I love this movie. I love The One I Love. It's like a 90-minute Twilight Zone episode with Mark Duplass and Elizabeth Moss, and it played at Sundance 2 years ago. It is so freaking fresh. It is so unexpected. To really talk about it, you don't want to say too much about the plot because I'm guessing not a lot of people have seen it, and it is not a movie that you want to spoil. The One I Love, directed by Charlie McDowell, whose father is Malcolm McDowell, and not Andy McDowell, Malcolm McDowell, and it is so good. It is so smart and profound and unpredictable. You know, it takes a turn about 20 minutes through, and the rest of it, it's just you're flying by the seat of your pants. It is absolutely 100% fresh. Becky Lane, what does it say on the tomato meter?
Still in your job, Matt.
I say you're
What the hell,
cutting in
Scott?
here.
Come on, I'm the moderator.
Oh, sorry.
Because Alonso has something to say about this movie, too.
Well, just real quick, I'm not going to give away anything because, yeah, it's a movie you really want to discover unspoiled. I don't think the ending, and like the last of the several endings, completely works with the internal logic that the movie is set up. But everything up to that point is so great that I'm willing to cut him some slack on that. Because, yeah, up to that point, it's brilliant and unpredictable and creates its own sense of reality that you just have to kind of go with. I like it a lot.
Becky, now give
Great
us
choice.
the tomato meter.
Sorry.
Okay, it is certified fresh at 80%.
All right, you guys have a lot to discuss in private afterwards. No spoilers. And
Great choice, brother. Preach.
Preach it. Movie or TV show?
Movie. I'd like to make a case for Hardcore Henry.
Oh, which is screening
Here.
at South by Southwest. So a lot of people haven't seen it. So tell them if it's fresh or rotten.
It is fresh. Yeah, so at first I
Don't give away too much because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no, I won't give away any
Have you
plot.
seen
At first I thought it would be
No, not
gimmicky
yet.
because it was entirely shot on the GoPro in first person. But it really overcame that gimmick with a fast-paced plot, very good cinematography, even though it was first person. It was very artfully crafted.
Scott, sit down.
Okay, are you cringing? Okay, it was difficult to unravel, but at the end it was satisfying. It was familiar. It was a good action sci-fi thriller, and I felt really satisfied at the end.
Well, Scott?
Sorry, dude. Sorry, man. Sorry.
No.
All right, here's the deal. Hardcore Henry. It's playing here at South by Southwest. Premiered at the Toronto Film Festival last September. Sold for $10 million. It won like the Audience Award for the Midnight Show. People are loving it. I admire this film because it is breaking ground. It is experimenting with the medium. And after 120 years of the medium, it's great that they're still trying to do new things. But the first-person thing, it didn't work for me. I got nauseous. It wasn't enough to sustain a film. And I just felt like I was watching a Call of Duty video game and not a film. I appreciate and respect that they were doing something different, and it's an insane, wacky, crazy film, but I didn't like it. Sorry, bro.
Becky Lane, do we have a tomato meter on that yet?
Yes, we do.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Scott Mantz, I'm sorry. It is 91% fresh.
Oh!
You got served, Scott.
Charlton Copley, thanks you. Go see it.
You made your case very artfully.
Yes. Also, Scott, you got nauseated. You're always nauseous.
All right, Casey, movie or TV show?
Movie. I'm talking about. I think it's fresh. Inside Out.
Yeah. You guys saw Inside Out. Get those paddles up. Anybody think that movie's rotten? We'll find
I
out.
see a
here in the front
splat.
row
I see a
does.
splat.
I see a couple.
I think it was like perfect from start to finish and taught me things about my own emotions and understanding that. And I think it could be really powerful for children going through anything like bad in their life. It's going to help explain it. I just thought it was perfect, and I laughed and I cried. I cry really easily, but anyway, yeah, I just thought it was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Something that I think is really interesting about the movie, and that it's like amazing lesson for children, is that depression is important. Like, don't ignore your sadness. It's just as much a part of you as your happiness or your fear or your disgust. I thought that was a really, really important lesson for kids to learn, because it's easy when you're a kid. Everyone's telling you like, oh, don't pout, like don't throw a temper tantrum. But it's like, explore those feelings, understand where they're coming from, and learn to roll with them. I thought it was like really, really well executed, and yeah, it's a great movie.
I feel like Alonso is chomping at the bit. Am I reading that wrong?
No. I mean, I chafe at perfect. But there's a lot that I liked about it, and I'm still upset about Bing Bong.
Bing Bong!
Oh my God.
Damn it!
Way to bring the whole panel down.
Depression's important.
But I would have liked to have seen Anomalisa win the Oscar, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, I agree with that too. I super agree with that.
Wait.
You're so smart.
Inside Out. Inside Out was my #1 favorite movie of 2015. #1. And if I was going to give out my own Academy Award for Best Picture, not Best Animated Feature, I mean Best Picture, my pick would have been Inside Out. That movie is so brilliant. It is so imaginative that this Pete Docter, who directed Up, and he co-wrote Toy Story, and he did Monsters U, and he directed this movie. It is so unique. I mean, just that the Goofball Island and the Abstract Room and the Train of Thought and Bing Bong and the 5 Emotions and the Justification of Sadness. I saw the movie 4 times, and each time I see it, I get something else out of it. It's a movie that's more for grown-ups than for kids, and just because it's animated, don't knock it. It still should have won Best Picture.
All right, let's get the tomato meter.
Good news. Certified fresh at 98%.
Dang!
Oh, nice.
I know there's this poor woman in the front row who's like, all right, enough about Inside Out. I didn't like it. Get on to the next film.
She's the 2% right there.
Casey, you and I are going to hang out after this and talk about our feelings. Okay? Come on up. Jeff, movie or TV show?
It's a movie. And I think it's fresh as hell.
Oh, and it is what?
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Whoa!
Oh,
Whoa, man. Whoa.
everyone. The
Whoa.
only people holding up paddles are ones who tell you you are wrong. Incredible.
Can I please explain? Okay.
You have a minute to do so.
You must.
Star Wars Episode 1 has the GOAT Jedi. Qui-Gon Jinn is straight up the most wise and elegant Jedi of all time. Even more so than Yoda. It also has hands down the coolest Sith ever. Darth Maul, though he ends rather stupidly, looks sick, fashion's on point, dual lightsaber is the sickest. Queen Amidala, like, get on the runway. Those looks are insane. Those looks are fire. Like, you cannot tell me that. And pod racing, that is the Quidditch of Star Wars. So, like, I don't want to hear it. It's friggin' sick. Sebulba's a bastard. That movie is so underrated. With one caveat, Jar Jar Binks. Everybody hates him. I understand it. It's a piece of crap. But besides that, that movie gets so much flippin' hate. It's actually awesome.
As it should.
Wow. Bold.
There is
All right,
a lot. Your
Meredith.
caveat. There's a lot of Jar Jar Binks in that movie. He gets like a ton of screen time.
Also, yippee, I'm a Jedi.
Right.
Also,
I will grant you that Amidala's fashion is on point. We'll grant you
also
that.
midichlorians.
Midichlorians.
I mean, come on. It took away all the mystique of the Force.
Also, killing the best Jedi and the best Sith by the end of the movie. Screw
You know who
that.
still lived? Jar Jar.
That
He
movie,
survived that movie.
Star Wars Episode 1, when I saw that in May of 1999, I felt like my childhood was ripped up and thrown on the ground and stomped on a million times, and I didn't get it back until December 18th, 2015, when The Force Awakens opened. Now we're talking.
But wait, quick question. How old were you when you saw Phantom Menace for the first time?
So I was probably like 13. I saw
Okay.
it 6 times
All
in
right.
the movie theater.
All right.
Okay, not to take anything away from your opinions, but you were a child. Next.
Also, they suck.
Real quick, I'm just going to weigh in. Phantom Menace is by far not the worst of the Star Wars prequels. Okay,
It's true.
it is marginally,
high praise.
but still better than the second one because that love story is god awful.
Brutal.
Yes, a slap
Right?
in the face is better than a punch in the stomach. I grant
Exactly,
you.
exactly. You could fix Phantom Menace with about 15 minutes of cuts. You would need another 40 minutes for Attack of the
Matt,
Clones.
he doesn't like sand.
I know.
It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Becky,
All right.
what do the critics have to say about Episode 1?
Episode 1 is rotten at
Yeah, it is.
56%.
Listen, but I guarantee you that none of the critics phrased it like elegant Jedi. You're a winner, sir, even though your opinion is god awful.
He is elegant. You're right about that.
William. Do people call you William? Do they call you Bill? Will? They call you late for dinner? Come on, guys. Give me a little something here. Everybody up. Everybody up. What movie or TV show?
I thought I was going to be controversial, but I can't really beat that. So my one is Mad Max. I thought that.
Oh, wait. Fury Road. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Mad Max Fury Road. You all saw it. It made like a gajillion dollars. Get it up. Get it up. Who loves Australians? Everybody else is a hater. Okay. All right. Very few rottens. I don't sense that this is going to go well for George Miller.
I hated it.
Oh! I actually like this opinion less than the last one. I want you to know.
It's basically.
Bring back the Phantom Menace guy.
I actually quite like the Phantom Menace. But so, Mad Max Fury Road is basically a 2-hour music video. There's no story whatsoever. They go down a road, then they come back. There's no character development whatsoever. Mad Max is barely even in it. He doesn't get much to say and he wears a mask. That's fine. I'm cool with Tom Hardy wearing a mask, but at least Bane had a bit more of a personality than he does. People say that, oh, it was so empowering for women. not only does he have one damsel in distress, but he's got 3, one of whom is a lingerie model in London.
Oh, you are so wrong there, son.
Okay, so we gave Charlize Theron half an arm and a gun. Wow, that's empowerment. It's not, sorry.
I think that's the actual literal definition of empowerment.
Okay. Scott, you agree, so you have to sit this one out.
I have to sit this out?
Well, yeah, you agree with him.
Well, can I go wait till after them?
Maybe.
Okay.
Clock's running.
Well, okay, not to get all MANTZ about it, but that was my #1 movie of 2015.
Yeah. Academy Award.
It to me there's a purity of cinema about that movie. Yes, it's about people going down a road and coming back a road. But you know what? The first movie that anybody gave a shit about was a train arriving at a station. It's all about what you do with it, about the kinetics of it. And God, there is tons of story in that movie. Are you kidding me? You've got a post-apocalyptic society. You've got women rescuing other women, taking them to other women to get help from them, and then all of them joining forces to go back to take the Citadel from the man who's been oppressing them all. It is electrifying and thrilling in a way that movies so rarely are now. It brought practical effects back into movies. It is breathtaking. It is extraordinary. It is not a 2-hour musical, but a music video. It's a musical of violence. It is a grand opera of violence, and it is genius.
Guys.
All right.
Give it up for Alonso Duralde.
Wait, no.
Now, here's the thing. The clock has run out on our panel, but do you want to hear the rest of their opinions?
All right, Meredith.
There you go.
I have a real problem with your saying that A, there's not enough Mad Max in it, but B, also there's no feminism in it. The reason that there's not as much Mad Max story is because this is all about Charlize Theron's story, and she's incredible in it. I mean, every action that she takes is one of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Urgency and
Badassedness.
Badassedness. That's exactly the word. Thank you, Grae.
You're welcome.
Agency. Every decision is one that she makes for herself and for the women that she's taking care of. And you know who understands that better than anyone? Mad Max, Tom Hardy. He just stands back and is like, you know what? You are going to be a better shot than I am. You can use my shoulder to steady your gun. That is the most feminist moment that happened in any movie in 2015, and I loved it.
Now, wait, real quick, Scott. Real quick.
He's chomping.
Everybody, this is about to be the definition of apoplectic.
He lost the cushion on his chair.
Because I'm going to say something before Scott does, real quick.
Go ahead, you go.
Mad Max Fury Road is far and away better than Star Wars The Force Awakens. Right? Who's with me on that? Who's with me?
Yeah.
We all love Star Wars Force Awakens because we love Star Wars. But Mad Max is amazing. It's, like you said, it's this symphony of violence. It's this amazing chase scene. And look, like, okay, the ending's a little like, oh, well, F it, we'll go back. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That movie is amazing, and that's the movie that Star Wars wishes it could have been. And I'm as big a Star Wars fan as anyone in this room.
And it's in a way that Star Wars didn't. It took an existing universe and did something extremely new with it. I love Force Awakens. It's a blast, but it's a blast because it took the moments that worked in previous movies and did them again. Yes. That is not what Mad Max Fury Road did.
And there are no flamethrower guitars in Force Awakens.
Yeah,
right. Next time you read the word apoplectic, I want you to imagine this. Okay?
Oh my God. First of all, come over here. Come over here. You. Come over here.
Don't do it.
Come
Don't do
over here.
it,
Come
man.
here.
Don't trust him.
All right, here's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen.
Real quick.
Let me tell you something about being a film critic. Sometimes you're in the minority. It's not fun. It is not fun being in a minority of a movie that everyone else loves when you just sort of liked it. Mad Max, to me, it was a 2-hour car chase. I mean, what's the rush? Where are they going? Why is Max so mad? I mean, I'm glad that you picked up on all this stuff. But hang on. I admired the film if it was a good ride, but did I think it was like one of the best movies of the year? No, I didn't. You told you I liked Inside Out, but I appreciated that everyone loved it. It's just I've seen it a couple times now, and it just is not doing it for me. And in film criticism, you want to agree with everyone, especially when it's a unanimous opinion. The hardest thing is when you don't, and you have to stand on your own. In film criticism, you are a gang of one, and you have to stand by, stick to your guns about your opinion. Still.
Or look within yourself and find out how you failed.
All
I stand by my
I
opinion.
have to say that was less apoplectic than I thought it was going to be.
As promised, I feel okay, Willy Willy Bilbo. You are forfeiting your final 30 seconds. And I want to tell you, keep one eye open because Tom Hardy's going to find you. Okay? No, it's
Furiosa's going to find you. That's
He's
scarier.
Like, oh, I like Tom Hardy. Nope.
Much
Is
scarier.
Tom Hardy going to find me?
I'm with you, brother.
It's really been a pleasure knowing you.
All right, real quick, let's do the Tomatometer score.
Okay, so you two have one more friend in the back of the room, and then everybody else, it's certified fresh at 97%.
97%.
Also, I should point out,
3.
Mad Max Fury Road, Golden Tomato winner for best reviewed film in wide release last year.
That's really exciting for an action film, you guys.
Right.
That's
I'm
very
glad
exciting.
You and Scott hugged it out. It's the last
You and
you'll
me, bro.
ever get.
Love you, man.
Thank you, Will. All right, your name is Noah. What movie or TV show do you want to talk about?
So it's a film, and I think it came and went, and it didn't get the credit it deserved. Spring Breakers was one of my favorite movies of the last, I don't know how many years.
Spring
Okay, we have some
break.
freshes. We have a rotten, but tell them why it's fresh.
Okay, so I think that movie was genius. It was moody. It was atmospheric. It had a killer soundtrack. It made me think. It captured like a drunken neon night. It had amazing colors. But the best thing is I think it got people who wouldn't see an artsy movie to go to an artsy movie because it really pulled the rug out under people. It was sold as a party movie, and it sure as fuck wasn't. And I've seen people leave movies because they were like, too many tits or too much violence. And I saw people leaving that movie because there wasn't enough for them. And I thought that was fucking awesome. That people thought they were coming for a rowdy party movie and they ended up with something so much cooler. I think it was a real work of art and it doesn't get the credit it deserves. No one really watches it enough.
Extremely well said.
Has anyone ever left a movie for too many tits?
Well,
I mean,
sure
just
as hell
asking,
haven't.
because I got no dog in this hunt. I'm just curious.
Scott's holding
I don't
up
know,
his
Alonso,
fresh.
has anyone?
Yes, it's fresh. Did you guys see it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Fresh.
yeah.
Fresh
It's
as
the one,
hell.
it's the one Harmony Korine movie I like.
That movie premiered here, I think, a couple years ago, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay, Spring Breakers. Spring Break.
Spring
Break.
I
That
think
movie. It was,
future acting students will be doing the look at my shit monologue the way people do you talking to me now.
As well they should.
it's a disturbing, unsettling film, but it is also engrossing, riveting, and mesmerizing. Stays with you long after the movie is over. If you were freaked out or disturbed by it, it did what it was supposed to do. Sometimes it's okay for movies to do that, especially if the movie is The Greasy Strangler, which I saw last night, and I'm still traumatized by it. But I'm with you.
And to your point of pulling the rug out, it's the cast of these Disney princesses. I mean, there's like a definite cognitive dissonance there where people show up and it's like, oh, I know what this movie's going to be. It's got Selena Gomez in it. You did not know what that movie was going to be. You did not know.
Becky?
Yes.
Since we're all in agreement, do you want to talk about the final tomato meter?
Okay, the tomato meter on this one is fresh at 66%.
Nice.
Ooh,
That's more than I expected.
skin of its teeth.
Please, to both you and everyone here in the audience today, don't ever leave a movie because there's too much TNA.
No, man.
This is your
Enjoy
public
your
service
life.
announcement, courtesy of RottenTomatoes.com.
Those actresses worked hard.
Sorry, boss.
Inappropriate, Grae.
Yeah. George, movie or TV show?
Movie.
What is it?
The Mummy.
Okay, so you're referring to The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser, right? And you say it is?
I think it's an underrated action classic, actually.
Oh, he says fresh. You guys remember that one? Get your paddles up. We see mostly freshes,
I feel like
couple
okay about
rottens.
it.
I see you guys. It's Brendan Fraser's management, actually.
I think he was a great leading actor in the movie. I like the story. I'm a big fan of like campy horror movies, and I just thought like as an adventure movie, it was on par with like the Indiana Joneses and the rest. But it's not ever in that discussion ever. So I just want to bring that out there and publicize it. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
I think Alonso should take this one.
Boring. Here's the thing that stuck with me from The Mummy. The blind mummy steals the eyeballs of the most nearsighted guy in the movie and shoves them into his own head, where miraculously they start working. No, to be honest, I haven't seen The Mummy since it opened, and I barely remember it. I just remember that when I saw it, I was super not impressed.
Or
But I couldn't.
sober?
I couldn't go into. I was sober. I could not go into details because it did not stay with me, and that in itself is a review.
I think it's fine. The Universal ride is a blast. I will give it that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's a poor man's Indiana Jones, at least until Crystal Skull, which is a even poorer man's Indiana Jones.
Destitute, homeless man's Indiana Jones.
And now they're
As
doing
Indiana
a fifth,
Jones
which is
knockoffs
crazy.
go, it's better than Crystal Skull.
It's
right?
better than Crystal
I think that's what
Skull.
you're trying to say.
But you know, it's fine. Like you said, it
If
didn't
I had to
float my
see one of
boat.
them again, I'd probably vote Mummy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, better than Crystal Skull. You got that.
It came out what 1999? Yeah, it's fine. You know, fresh but barely.
Is there any final word that you'd like to go out on, fighting hard to make sure that everyone knows your opinion on The Mummy?
I mean, to be fair, I'm Egyptian, so I'm kind of biased, I guess. But
I feel like that means
Reasonable.
that you would hate
Reasonable.
it. Wouldn't it?
no, I mean, it's way better than Gods of Egypt, at least.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's
Well.
saying a whole lot.
Oh, don't bring
Damning
up
with
Gods of
faint
Egypt.
praise, we call that.
Yeah, don't bring up Gods of Egypt. We'll be here all day.
Becky Lane, do you have a tomato meter for The Mummy?
I do. I just want to say I watched this last week, and I think it's fresh.
You watched The Mummy last week?
I just watched it last week.
Wow.
I'm
Why?
not kidding. And I think it's great. Unfortunately, I watched the sequel right after it, and that was a mistake. But I think it's fresh. However, the tomato meter says it's rotten at 55%.
Oh.
Only 6% lower than Spring Breakers.
Who directed that? Steven Summers, right?
Steven Summers,
Yeah.
So it's no Spring Breakers, and the critics are not saying you had your brains pulled out through your nose. So action classic. We'll mark it down. Thank you. All right, Jason, movie or TV show?
It's a movie.
What is it?
Okay, so this movie came out a few years ago, and this is one of those movies I went around Tomatoes, and spoiler alert, you know, it was, I believe it was fresh. It's called Splice. I don't know if anybody's seen it. But that movie was absolutely awful.
Yeah, it
And
was.
I don't understand all the love that came out for that. Without spoiling too, you know, I might spoil a little bit, but Adrian Brody and his romantic interest, they have, I think,
Sarah
Polley.
Sarah
Okay.
Polley, yeah.
And then
Acclaimed filmmaker Sarah Polley.
Who deserves better than
Yeah,
Splice?
Away from her.
Splice.
Great movie.
And then I think they have like some kind of mutated baby with their DNA in it. And then Adrian Brody's character has sex with it.
Yeah.
And
That's the plot of that movie.
I was like, oh, is this a movie about a relationship? Oh, okay. Is it about family? You know, they have a child. Oh no, he's having sex with it. And then the alien thing chases him down at the end. And he's like, what you want from me is, and I believe the quote was, inside you. And it was, I can't believe
You
that
didn't
movie
call
did well at
afterwards.
all. It was absolutely awful.
It's kind of bonkers. Did you guys see it?
I do not care for that movie, so.
I can't say I love the film. It's not a movie that I've recommended to people, but just because of it had balls.
Why are you saying it's fresh?
Because it had
'Cause
balls,
he
it
wants
was
to talk.
unpredictable. It was upset. It was unnerving. It was a little disturbing, and it sort of I was engrossed by it and grossed out by it. But you know, sort of the same way that I admired Spring Breakers. You know, if a movie bothers you, if it disturbs you, then maybe there's something to it, and you got to evaluate why. You know, there's a difference between seeing a movie that's bad and a movie that's making you feel uncomfortable. And if a movie engages you in that way, maybe there's something to like about it. So, not a movie I would get like, oh my God, Splice is awesome, but I'm gonna go fresh.
Let me say that Spring Breakers disturbs you on a thematic level. There is no thematic level to Splice. And I am a person, I love indie horror. I love Vincenzo Natali films. I went into that movie so ready for it. There's just nothing there. I mean, there is a plot that you very aptly summarized for all of us. Thank you. There's some really cool monster work, but there's just nothing on a deeper level there. There's this one scene where Sarah Polley sits down with Dren, which is the weird creature daughter thing, and she's like helping her put on makeup, and she says, you know, sometimes women want to be degraded every once in a while. And I was like, oh, I hate this movie. I really hate it. And that, it's just like that. It's like all over the map. Every single line of dialogue, you're like, but why is that in here? And also Sarah Polley and Adrian Brody play scientists who live in an apartment that looks like this. Like, it's just weird shit everywhere, you know? And it's like this enormous loft apartment that looks like a cross between IKEA and Spencer's. So visually, it's very cool.
Becky Becky Lane, do we have an official Tomatometer reading on this masterpiece?
Yeah, I want you to brace yourselves on this one. It's certified fresh at 74%. However, the audience score is rotten at 37%.
Wow.
Good job, audience.
Yeah, I don't know. With all this talk of like the movie has balls and degrading stuff, I'm kind of selling it now because I would like to see it and maybe set it on fire.
I'm saying it's fresh.
Or something. Okay, don't see it? All right, fair enough. Thank you. Woo! Come on up, Tony. What's your movie or TV show?
So it's a TV show. I was going to start off by talking about The Office, but...
The Office American or British?
American, but I wanted to disappoint all of you by saying I hate Breaking Bad.
Whoa! Okay, now you're talking, Tony. You threw the gloves down. I feel like we do not see enough freshes in this audience for inevitably how many people have seen
Who's watched
Bad.
Breaking Bad? Let's see.
Get your paddles up,
those
people.
paddles up,
there we go,
people.
there we go.
Show. Tony, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
So, I mean, it's in New Mexico. That's depressing, right?
Take it easy, Texas.
Find out who's dying. And then his
'Cause there's no
family
meth here.
seemingly hates him. And then his brother-in-law is annoying. His sister-in-law is annoying. And it's just, if I wanted to see like something sad for that long, I'd watch like Requiem for a Dream. And it just seems like he hated himself. So why would I want to watch him hate himself? And the whole thing where he's like, well, I'm going to make money out of it, you know, like I have no attachment to his character because his life's depressing. Why does he want to continue?
Depressing and he hates himself.
Okay.
That's something I've never heard anybody say about Bryan Cranston as Walt.
So wait, your answer is, you got cancer, just
Your
let it kill you.
brother-in-law's annoying, so just give in to the cancer.
Die already.
Would you guys want to take this?
It's just not a very fun show, and I don't want to. I struggled through the first season, and seemingly everybody's annoying, and that's just my opinion.
There's a nihilism there that I think is extremely fun. Yeah, if you can lean into it, if you put yourself in those positions and be like, that would suck. Or you can watch it as an audience member and be like, it is a blast watching this man burn his life to the ground. I think Breaking Bad is an extremely fun show. People talk about how it's not fun, how it stresses them out, how it's depressing. And I'm like, you're watching it wrong, man. Like, this show is a blast.
And the other thing is, it was on for what, 5 years? Yeah. You know, that was a show that knew when to get out.
One of the strongest series finales of all time.
That was a fantastic finale. It was on for 5 seasons. There's not a wasted moment in that entire series. The arc of that character, Walter White, is brilliant. Bryan Cranston was magnificent in this film, and it is just one of the best TV shows of all time.
I totally agree.
Look, if you want TV characters who are likable, then yeah, this is not the show for you. But I would also argue that if that's the corner you're painting yourself into, you're missing a lot of great art.
This is not the
in
Brady
any
Bunch.
medium, and yeah, they're awful people. That doesn't mean they aren't compelling, captivating, rich, interesting people whose dramatic arcs have something to say about the way we live our lives.
And I think Skylar White is an incredibly fascinating character, and I loved gauging audiences by the way they responded to her, because people were like, Team Walter, Skylar sucks! And I'm like, really, you guys? Yeah. I need you to examine yourself when you say that.
Well, so you're saying that you don't enjoy shows that are depressing. So, serious question, did you fall asleep to the Golden Girls in college?
Oh, no, I fall asleep to The Office.
Okay, so you like The American Office. You're a comedy guy. Well, that explains a lot. The many things Breaking Bad are, one is not funny.
I think it's very funny.
Sometimes.
Better Call Saul.
And you?
I like that show.
Weird.
Great show.
Better Call Saul is a great show.
Are an enigma wrapped in a mystery, sir. And the Tomatometer on Breaking Bad.
The Tomatometer on Breaking Bad. The first season is certified fresh at 78%, and that's the lowest season. Every other season is certified fresh at 100%.
You should have kept going.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and be careful, because anyone that heard you that said anything you said about meth and New Mexico and just, it's a very violent South by Southwest. Your opinion sucks. What's your name?
Annika.
Annika, what movie or TV show do you want to talk about?
I'm here to talk to you about Sense8. I know it's gotten some pretty mixed reviews, but I am an adamant defender of it.
Does anybody watch that on Netflix, Sense8? Not many people. You have an opportunity here.
Yeah, so it's by the Wachowskis, and I am a huge sci-fi nerd, and I'm constantly disappointed by the white boy sci-fi out there. And
Yeah.
this is not white boy sci-fi, and that makes me so happy. You see this like rainbow spectrum of identities that are hardly ever depicted on television shows. It's beautiful cinematography. The music placement in it is phenomenal, so moving. And where there are certain plot holes, like just looking at the characters and the character development, it's amazing.
Yeah, and J. Michael Straczynski, who did Babylon 5, is involved too, and he ain't no slouch. Panel?
We haven't seen it, but I really like your argument. I'm going to see it.
No, you're totally right. That show is queer as fuck and international as fuck. Like, I can't think of another TV show in our lifetimes that has featured a major character who lives in Africa. You know, it's amazing. You've got a Korean character, and you've got, people all over the world speaking in their own languages. You have one of the most interesting trans characters that we've ever had in the popular culture, who is also in an interracial lesbian relationship. It's like, it's the Powerball. And it's an exciting show. It's unpredictable, and they keep the story moving along, and the characters are really interesting, and you don't know how it's going to resolve itself. I am dying to see season 2. It is a great, great show.
Yeah, and you mentioned the cinematography. If any of y'all have a 4K television, this is one of the most extraordinary shows to watch, utilizing that technology.
Real quick, I watched 2 episodes of this and had no idea what the hell was going on. So,
It comes together.
Because I was frustrated. I love Straczynski, big Babylon 5 guy from way back. Love the Wachowski sisters, and could not. Right? It's sisters now. We don't have to say siblings. Nobody
The
likes
Wachowskis,
siblings.
either way.
Say sisters. It's cool. But I had no idea what the fuck was going on in that show. So, do you ever find out what's going on?
It will come to you. I promise.
Okay.
I'm sold.
Well, I'll
man.
give it another shot.
I'm sold.
Matt, you're going to prove that TV show ain't smarter than you.
Maybe.
What's the tomato meter on Sense8?
Matt, you're just going to have to follow them into the light. It's fresh at 67%.
Nice.
Yay.
Woo. Very nice. Thank you. Come on up, Madeline. What TV show or movie do you want to talk about?
So I'm going to talk about a movie. I hated Gravity. And I know people thought it was beautiful and it won a lot of Oscars, but I thought it was incredibly boring and the storyline was uninteresting, and no matter how pretty it is, it doesn't mean people will like it. I can appreciate it, but I wanted to leave.
Ooh, not a fan of watching Sandra Bullock just flip around. Panel?
I know we got to give this one to Scott.
At
least to start with.
Swear to God, I loved Gravity. I know it won Best Director for Alfonso Cuarón, 2013. I thought it should have won Best Picture. I mean, I love 12 Years a Slave, but I'll watch Gravity again, like over and over and over and over again. It is a 90-minute ride, but and listen, I feel for you being in the minority. Mad Max Fury Road. Remember me?
Let's stop talking about that.
Okay, but Gravity, I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I thought the story was simple. I mean, this woman, she's has some issues, and she goes out into space, and she has this disaster, and that helps her reevaluate her priorities and her lust for life. I thought the little twist in the middle with George Clooney getting back in the spacecraft provided a real emotional moment for the film. The movie, things happen, you catch your breath. There's an action scene, you catch your breath. There's an action scene, you catch your breath. It's not just 90 minutes straight. Sandra Bullock was fantastic. I love Gravity. It was one of my favorite movies of 2013. What do you guys think?
I mean, I thought it was riveting. I'm always really surprised, and I've heard this a couple of times when people say that movie's boring, because, and my experience the first time I saw it, I mean, it was like IMAX 3D, total immersion kind of thing. I kept finding myself holding my breath. I was like, you have to breathe. You literally are about to pass out. I was so excited. And then I watched it again just on my TV on Blu-ray, and I was just as riveted, because even after you get past the action and then the like amazing technology of the movie, I think the themes are really, really interesting.
Yeah, I was going to ask, when you saw it, did you see it large format, or were you like on a plane?
I saw it in a movie theater.
Okay. Just because, I had the same experience. I saw it in the third row of the Chinese in Los Angeles, and it was overwhelming. And I think there's a case to be made that they take the character into some sort of stock woman with problems areas, but I think that overall it's such a great kind of, it's very straightforward. It's a quest narrative, and I find it really effective.
I just thought it was really profound and compelling and
And
riveting.
Sandra Bullock's incredible in it.
She is fantastic.
And she's wearing like
in
a
this
helmet
movie.
the entire movie, and you are
And
like
I'll say this
feeling
too,
her.
about the 3D of that film. A lot of times when you see a 3D movie, I'm not a big fan of 3D, but in Gravity's case, I was, and here's why. Because I felt like for the first time in a long time, the medium, the format of 3D sustained itself. You know, when you get used to the 3D, it's not effective anymore. But I did not get used to the 3D in Gravity. Even by the last scene, I still thought, my God, the 3D in this movie is fantastic.
Madeline,
It
I
really,
just
really
have to say that I'm most surprised that weightless George Clooney or Sandra Bullock doesn't do anything for you. Am I right? What's the tomato meter on Gravity?
Well, the tomato meter on Gravity is certified fresh at 97%.
Yes, and I believe another Golden Tomato winner. Am I
That
right
is
about
correct.
that?
That is correct.
Yes. So we disagree with you, Madeline. Your opinion sucks.
It's
But you're a brave soul nonetheless.
Brave soul nonetheless. Come on up here. We only have about 5 minutes left, so you got to wow us. Mark. Movie or TV show?
TV show.
And it is?
One of the most underappreciated classic TV shows of all time.
We'll see.
Murder, She Wrote.
And you say it's what, fresh or rotten?
Fresh.
Oh, thank God, bless you.
30 years now, it has stood the test of time. Anybody can watch it, from adults to the kids that are now adults watching it with it. It has given B and C-list Hollywood actors residuals for decades. It's one of the only shows that is still on Lifetime, able to support a 12-hour marathon on a regular basis. This is something that, unlike WKRP or Revenge of the Nerds,
Hey,
has
don't knock
stood the test of
WKRP.
time. I love KRP, but it's not
All right.
standing the test of time. It was great in the 70s, it's not great in 2016. Murder, She Wrote is as great today as it was in 1980.
Revenge of the Nerds needed more Angela Lansbury, no question.
Guys, is
so
anyone going to be bold enough?
These guys haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since I was a child. But I will say that I loved it. And yet again, much like Golden Girls, this is a show about like a silver-haired lady. You don't get that anymore. Like, this is a show where the star is Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
You know, like, that doesn't happen anymore. And that's something that I think that we're missing. Like, you know, like, I love old ladies. Let's get more of them on television.
It recently occurred to me, because that show is streaming on Netflix, that's a show that has a pilot that I could watch. I've only seen it in reruns. It's delightful. And so are you. Now, we probably don't have a tomato meter on Murder, She Wrote because it's too old.
Let's just say
but
fresh.
I assure you that it is fresh.
I certify it
And,
fresh.
In fact, if there is anyone in the audience bold enough, I would like to take a moment just to sing the theme song for you. Do you know it by heart?
This is not singing.
Oh, give me a hug!
Yay!
Murder, She Wrote brings us all together. It's the best. All right, guys. Come on.
On that note of 80 shows that hold up, Magnum PI holds up shockingly well. And I'm not
Says
saying
the
that
man
just
in the
'cause of
Hawaiian
shirt.
shirt.
I'm just saying.
That's not
Alex?
going to get you a free Ferrari, Matt.
Movie or TV show, and what is it?
Well, mine is a television show that's based off of a movie, and it's seriously maybe one of the most underrated shows that are currently running, and it's Fargo, that runs on FX.
So you're saying it's
Fresh.
Flip it
Anybody
around.
want to say Fargo's rotten? Because Emmys really disagree with you. Not anybody holding up paddles at this point, so they're either not listening or you're right. Continue.
There's my point. Nobody's seen it.
Why do you love it?
Okay, this is definitely captures just about everything that the Coen brothers did with that classic movie, and pretty much takes their own original spin on it, keeping with dark humor, some intense situations. And I swear to God, if you guys love Breaking Bad, the best replacement for now is Fargo on FX, especially season 1, because it does follow a similar plot line with Martin Freeman and everything. But I
And
feel like
season 2 has Meth Damon in it.
Meth Damon, yes.
No, Meth Damon.
Right, Jesse
Yes,
Plemons,
Jesse
right?
Plemons.
Yes. I love that nickname.
Does anybody want to disagree with that?
Oh, hell no. Fargo's great.
There you go.
Fargo's great.
North
Meth
Dakota,
Damon.
we salute you. New Mexico, you're screwed. But we. And before we go, thank you for saying that Fargo is great as a representative of FX. I'm just kidding. There was some news before the panel that Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford are teaming up again for a new Indiana Jones movie. So as we get out of here, we thank you for attending our first annual South by Southwest Your Opinion Sucks. You can listen to us on the Rotten Tomatoes podcast. You can find us at RottenTomatoes.com. Do you think a new Indiana Jones movie is a fresh or rotten idea? Everybody, as a one last salute, get your paddles up. And that is mostly you guys hate that idea, and way to go, super depressing.
In a couple of years, I want one of you tomatoes to
I
come
love
back
it.
here and make your case.
I think they need to go out on a high note. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was rotten.
Even worse.
And,
Right,
you
the
know,
odd numbers films are good ones, so we need another
They
odd
know.
number.
They know they got to do something good. And
Hey,
I mean, it's still 4 years away, but I'm excited.
I bet I know how we could turn this around. Instead, raise your paddles for the great Harrison Ford. There we go.
There we
Thank
go.
you, everybody. Thank you very much to our panelists. Scott
Thank you,
Mann,
guys.
Reporters, Alonso Duralde, Becky Lane, our hot tomato, and our big boss man, Matt.